Hi everyone, this is Rich, and what I want to do is show you how to get to the VMs in the CIS lab remotely. Right now I'm on Windows 7, and I want to get to some virtual machines. We call those VMs on campus. They're on some servers at campus. You can get at them over the internet. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to bring up a browser, bring up our class website, which is sims-teach.com. And here I'll click on our class CIS 90. And up here, there's a calendar and grades. Let's go to calendar. And here you'll see lesson 1 for February 8th, first class. Now I have a how-to that documents getting to VLab, so you're welcome to download that and look at that and use that as a guide. You can also use that in conjunction with this video. But I do have a picture on here that I want to use that shows, here we are at home. We're going to go over the internet to a server on campus that the name of the server is cisvlab.cabrillo.edu, and once we get to that server we'll automatically get sent to the right servers in this room. This is actually in the CIS lab. You can actually see these servers when you come to the lab at school in the CTC, and it will get to our VMs, which is on another server named VM Server 4 that's running VMware ESXi. So we use RDP as Remote Desktop Protocol to get over the internet and into the system. And so to make it a little bit simpler, what we've got for you is a little RDP file you can download to your desktop, and you just double click on it and you'll go into VLab. So let me show you how that works. Go back to our website here. You'll see where it says CIS VLab RDP file. What you want to do is download that. Okay? It's a little zip file. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it on the desktop. Okay? Close that. And I can close this now too. There it is. I'm going to open it up. There's the RDP file inside. Let me just take that out. Okay? And close that. And just for the heck of it, I'll put these two next to each other. That's the zip file and that's the extracted file. This is the file that we're going to use. So, to start a session with VLab, I'm going to take this file here, and I can right-click on it and say Connect, or I can just double-click on it. You'll get this warning. Go ahead and say Connect. Okay. And you'll get prompted for a password. Okay. Now, you may have already logged in before. In that case, you don't have to do anything. But if you've never gone before, then use another account. So I'm going to show you the way you log in for the first time. We need to enter a domain. So we're going to enter CIS Lab as a domain, followed by a backslash, and then you put in your VLab account name. This is an account name that it's a username that you'll get from me at the first day of class. And I'm going to use Benji's account for this. So I'll use his username. Okay, so CIS Lab backslash username. Then you put in the password. And you want to check that there's no blanks around that backslash. So it's just CIS Lab backslash your account name and your password. Okay? And click OK. Get another warning. I'll say yes. Go ahead. Okay. I'm going to get yet another warning. I'm going to say ignore. And now it's going to log me in using those credentials. It's already logged me into the first server on campus. You don't actually see that one. And it's running a program called vSphere Client, which is logging onto yet another server called vcenter.cislab.net. This is all done automatically. Okay? Now we're running, this is the vSphere Client. We're looking at the server called vcenter.cislab.net. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to get to the VMs in our class. That little plus, just click on the plus and expand it. You'll see the Linux lab. Click on that plus, expand it again. You'll see our class CIS 90. Click on the plus again. You'll see a bunch of folders, which I've given the name pod and a number. Each pod folder has 3 VMs, a Kate VM, a Mr. Echo VM, and a Not Opus VM. Okay? And you can look through all these and see which ones are in use or not in use. A VM is being used or powered on if it's got that little green triangle on it, like Fang is powered on. These VMs though are powered off, so no one's using them. Alright? So let's take a look at pod 1. No one's using pod 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a spreadsheet I have on the Fang VM just as a way to reserve a pod. Okay, so here are the VMs on this side. Here's some tabs up above here. Okay, and this is the log area below. So I'm going to click on Fang. All right, and now over here I'm going to click on console. This is as if this console is like having the monitor that's on this computer, this virtual machine named Fang. And you can see it's running a spreadsheet. I want to get a little bit more real estate space here, so I'm going to close this recent task log area so I have a little bit more visibility onto that VM. And let's see if I can just maximize this whole thing here, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so pretend it's Wednesday, February 8th, the first day of class. Right now it's 2:22, and I'm going to reserve pod 1. So I'm going to say, I'm going to put my initials under pod 1, Mr. Echo, RS, RS, RS. So that reserves that pod for me from 2 to 3. Now this is an honor system, so what you want to do is look at the spreadsheet here and see if anybody else has already has a reservation for some VMs at a certain period in time and pick a different pod or a different time. And just to be safe, I'll go ahead and save it up here so it saves my savings. The spreadsheet gets saved. Now, let me show you how to use a VM. The Kate is a Debian VM, Mr. Echo is a Ubuntu VM, and not Opus is a CentOS VM. Let's start up Mr. Echo here. So I'll click on Mr. Echo. I want a console view. Okay. And I can start it up by, it's already selected, so I could just click the little green triangle to power it on. I could also right click on it and say power on. Okay, that's another way to start it up. If I was in the summary view, I could click on power on virtual machine. Any of these ways work. Let me go back to the console. I want to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to click on the little green triangle for Mr. Echo 1, which is in pod 1, and that will start this guy up. So it's going through the BIOS right now. Now it's going to load the operating system, which in this case is Ubuntu Linux. Notice I have a cursor here. If I click inside, my cursor disappears. That means the VM has captured the mouse now. Now the VM, rather than my Windows machine, has the mouse. If I ever want to get out of that, I hit the Control and Alt key together. You'll see the little notation over here in the lower right corner, and I'll get my mouse back. So it's just a little thing to get used to. You've got two computers here. Who has the mouse? Who has the keyboard? By clicking in a VM, that will give the keyboard and the mouse to the VM. So let's log in. I'm going to use the password that I'll be giving out during the first class. And up will come. We'll log into Ubuntu here. We'll get the Ubuntu desktop. Okay. So over here you've got like a little, it's like a little taskbar. I can run here. Let's run a terminal just to show you how it works. So you click on one of these icons on the left, and you'll run the program that it represents. There's a little graphical terminal. Let's close that. And let's say you do your lab and you're done, and you want to close this thing. What you want to do is you don't want to go up here and click and you don't want to power it off. What you want to do is be graceful about it. So what you want to do is go and say, like with any computer, do a shutdown. Okay? So we'll say yes to that. Now I do have VMware tools installed, so you can also do a shutdown on these things using VMware, and it will do a graceful shutdown. If you see power off though, don't do that, because that's like yanking the power cord out of a desktop. It just shuts it right down, and it doesn't save any files or anything. So you want to do a graceful shutdown. Okay, and then now that I'm finished here, if I want to disconnect from VLab, what I do is I just close this vSphere client. This is vSphere client, right? And I just click the X, and that will exit the program and automatically disconnects me from VLab. So that's it. That's how you connect to VLab from off campus.